All right. How's it going tonight, everyone? Welcome. Happy Monday. Hope your week's been off to a good start. And man, October's flying by. I need to finish the State of the Bird. I keep forgetting to do it. I have it. I have the metrics and stuff done. I just have to go through and write stuff. We might actually jump into that a little bit tonight. We'll see. We're gonna pick up with some stuff I was working on this weekend. A little bit of different stuff, but it's okay. It's cool. And that stuff is that uh, working on some of the present stuff. So I started writing this crazy, well, not, I started writing a document on how the scheduling system works and how it's supposed to work. And I was like, well, I need an example plugin to kind of give an idea of how this works and stuff. So I created this idea of the presence role. It's a Rickroll in your presence messages, right? So it's literally every 15 minutes, it switches to the next line of never gonna give you up. And it works, and it's fine. The problem is it's a bit more complicated than it needs to be for an introduction to the system. So I wrote a new one with an easier premise of you just play rock, paper, scissors with your status emoji, right? So it only works on stuff that has status emojis, but you get rock, paper, scissors, and it just randomly picks one. So it's a little bit easier to deal with, but we'll see. Actually, well, I don't know. Do we want to work on this? Not. There's a couple problems I ran into. The status stuff is funky because like the presence role itself didn't actually use, what the hell did I just do there? The presence role itself didn't actually use the presence, not the presence, the scheduler. It just used a scheduled task. So I want to see if we want to keep that or not. I don't know. Thinking this is probably not a great idea to use right now, but you know, it is what it is. Perfect examples. We'll just amend this. We'll come back to this for now. I forget what else I was working on. We got some cleanups. I did finally get review board moved, so when I refresh, you'll see we didn't get asked by Anubis. Anubis is still running, but I moved it so Anubis can actually get the IP address of everybody that's coming in, and yeah, so that's a thing now. That took longer than it should have, but a review board's not the easiest thing to deploy is part of the problem. But it's there now, right? It's cool. It works. And that's good. We had a hiccup this morning, but there was a misconfiguration with Anubis on the host, or the Anubis in front of HG Keeper. But we got that sorted out. It's good to go. So, yeah. But yeah, so we're better utilizing that server and stuff like that. Let's see, what else do we got here? I don't really want to do that. The presence color thing. There's just so much stuff to look at doing right now. I don't remember where we were. We could do some of the HD home run stuff, although I got to worry about leaking my device key. What's going on? Come on. Sometimes U-Track, it's just it's faster and easier to just refresh the entire page. And then it just works, which is dumb. But, yeah. We could knock that out. I don't know. Schedule task. We should probably do add contact, global avatar, and alias to presence. So what were we stuck? So I also have a branch for. Oh, we did merge the doc check. Let's clean up that branch real quick. That was the thing we merged earlier. Mm-hmm. So, what did I... Oh, yeah, okay, that's what I got stuck on with that. Okay. So, it's not that we're stuck, per se, on the Save Presence Chooser, but let's do that. That's a much better use of our time right now. Did I not commit this? Oh, whatever. I'll figure that out later. It's not a big deal. So the Save Presence Manager is... I don't know. I built it weird. Or it's just Presence Manager. So we tried to force it to use... Oh, not tried to. We did make it use GTK files, but that caused the stuff to get weird. And I kind of want to fix most of that. But the bigger thing that we need to do right now, rather than any of this other stuff, right, because there's like a create or something. Yeah. And we're gonna make that go away. We're gonna give this the whole back end treatment and all that stuff. But before we bother with that, the problem with the Save Presence Chooser right now is it's not easy to build the Save Presence Chooser with the way it is. And what we want to do is, what did Glib call it? So GTK drop down has okay, so they've selected and selected item. So what I want to do is I want to do a selected index and selected item. So right now we have active. Okay, cool. We have active, so it's fine. Oh no, we'll stick with active, but we're gonna deprecate active for active item, but I don't think it matters. I don't think anybody's really using. Oh no, the demo is using it. I believe. Okay, some of this other stuff is okay. It's fine, right? So we'll get to that part in a minute. How's it going, Subuntu? Welcome, welcome. But what we want to do is so if you look at GTK dropdown, the properties here. Because remember, we want to bind as much stuff as we can because that means we don't have to manually update it and find stuff, right? So the problem is they have selected item, but you'll notice this is only a read-only property. That kind of sucks, right? At least for us, this is a G object. That would be our item. It's only readable. But if you look at selected item, sorry, selected item is just that. My bad, my bad. But if you go to selected, this is the position of the selected item. Wait, what the hell is the value of that then? Oh, the default value is max int. Okay. So what we can do is we can bind this to the manager's property, right? So if the manager has an active index, we can just bind this to that and we're done because this is read writable, right? So what'll happen is because we're going to use the index of the list model to drive the selected item rather than looking it up and then figuring it out from there, this will just become automatic. We won't have to do anything else. But we have to do that part, right? So we need to fix a bunch of the API positioning and stuff. That's fine. But so we're just gonna purple presence manager set active index at index the index of the item to make active. Sets the item at given index as the active presence. As active, or as the active presence. The index is the index of the item exposed via the ipace at gio.list model interface that the manager implements. Returns Do we want to make the? No, we'll just we're gonna leave it as void. If you give it a bad value, it's not gonna. If the given index is outside of the bounds of the manager, it will be ignored. Full presence manager set active index. Presence manager GU and index. Right? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We're probably gonna make this go away. I don't know that anything's actually calling this. Okay. There's a bunch of stuff calling that. All right. We'll have to figure that out. Presence manager get active index. This is gonna. The reason a bunch of this stuff's gonna have to change is because internally the way we're gonna represent this is gonna change a lot. So that might be a problem, but we'll see. It's the index of the currently active presence. Returns the index. All right, and actually this might be able to, okay, whatever, we'll see. Okay. So I gotta quit doing that. Leads to stupid bugs, and I'm like, what did I do? Not stupid bugs, weird compile errors. It'd take me a while to find. All right. Did we really put that in the... Oh, we put it next to get active. But really... It should be up there. Not going to worry about cleaning the whole file right now. Maybe we'll do it as part of this pull request, but I don't know. But get active index, it comes before get default alphabetically. So... Oh, man. Sublime text. Okay, return. Manager active index. Right, easy peasy. Nothing to that. Void. Purple presence manager. Set active index. Turn, nope. If L is presence manager. If index is less than manager, presence is length. I think it's just length. Yeah, just length. So if index is less than that, cool. Then we say manager dash active index equals index. Oh, and index is not equal to manager active index. G object free is notify obs G object notify p spec. Yeah, I think we're gonna make this read only, but we'll see. Oh, active index. We don't have item yet. Yeah, whatever. One piece at a time. Okay. Yep. So, in get active, we should just return G pointer array index manager presences active manager active. But we're gonna do this too. If manager dash presences length equals 0, return null. Or manager, it shouldn't happen, but we'll do it separately. G return val if val manager active is less than manager presences length. Yeah, okay, but this means we can go back to this. I wanted to do this anyways. Yeah. Yep, that goes away. Dang it. Played the wrong part. Alright, how bad do we not compile right now? Guessing pretty bad. Expression evaluates to fish. Oh, yep. That's not a problem anymore. Because active is no longer tied to it. Oh, prompt active is going away. It's going to break all sorts of stuff. This is why we're just going to start with the unit test. $567. All right. Like we can maybe name it active whatever. But like I don't think we need to go that far. 612. What's going on 612? Is that active index? That's no. That's what? Oh, missing prototype. Did we now put that in there? Spelled it wrong. Like, what do you mean, no, missing prototype? Pretty sure I typed it. Alright, well that doesn't seem right. That's in tests presence manager. Let's see, 140. Um. This is dumb. I guess we work around this first. How do we want to find this thing? I guess we'll find it by ID. Yeah. Residence manager, find with ID. Oh. Purple presence manager, find with ID. ID. Search for position out. Nullable. Return address or an optional for the position of the presence in the manager. Looks for a saved presence in the manager. If the if the saved presence is found, it will be returned and position. And if position is not null, will be set to the position of the item in the manager of the manager. Returns transfer none nullable. Yeah, that's a little weird, but it's okay. The item, if found, otherwise, no. Yeah, that works. Oh, having to rewrite this whole damn API is fun. But that's okay. It happens. Wait, what? What's the active mapping? Oh, okay. That's the settings too. Okay, that's fine. That's roughly what we're going to build here, but it's okay. G return valid file is presence manager. For GU and I equals 0. I is less than manager. Presence is length. I plus plus. Equals a presence star presence equals null. Presence equals GU pointer. Array. Index manager presences comma on. If purple, say, like, I'm realizing why am I typing this if we actually have this thing? Huh. Why did we... That... Mm-hmm. Well, that's weird. What's in the mapping then? God, what did I do when I wrote this? Fucking hell. Alright, well, okay. G return, valid fail, not verb, stir is empty, ID. Alright. If verb stir equal presence ID, comma ID. If position is not equal to null, return presence. Yep, that's way better than all the other code. Yeah, and this is essentially the same function. And just, yep, less allocations, faster, better access to the internet, blah, blah, blah. How's it going, Fallen? Welcome, welcome. How are you? Let's manage that C140. What's your beef? No. Test presence manager 140. Alright, that's still messed up. That's fine. Okay. But then, yeah, ID equal doesn't matter anymore. I really don't know what I was on when I wrote this. I was probably very tired. I was like, we'll just throw this together. There's probably a VOD of it somewhere. I can't remember if I did on stream or not. I might have. Okay. So, that fixes a lot of that. We're not so much worried about path. Add will get pulled out. Until we switch the back end, we were just working around this for now. Alright, but we need to go to the class init. So we're going to break more stuff, and that's fine. What have I constructed? Oh, we make sure you have... No, what? Oh, we load the... Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We'll probably still end up using these, but... No, we won't, because we're not going to use G settings anymore. Well, this is going to get backed by Siegel, because of course it is. Okay, we did do that. I thought I skipped that part. Ah, fuck it. Let's name this active index. I don't want to make it confusing for anyone. Okay, we're still doing okay here. Wow. Set active index. So this was what? This was a writable property, but it was not in here. Yeah. Index of the active saved presence. Useful to bind to where? I was gonna link to GTK and then I realized I can't because I'm in lib purple. So it's min, max, default. Okay. That gets us most of the way there. Set active has to get a little weird, but that's okay. We need a GUint. Positions are position equals 0. Oh, what do we do? Save the idea of the presence. We need to use it later. Make the presence active. This will make more sense later, I swear. 1 equals purple presence manager. Find with ID manager. Wait, that's the name. I don't know that we need to save the ID. We'll see. G assert. No. Verb assert type. Presence 1. Purple type. Saved presence. Presence manager. Set active index. Position. Song sounds like they're trying to be Prodigy. Um, yep, so we can do that. And then we're going to say position 1 equals purple presence manager. Get active index. Uint position 1. Position. It's going Stonkfish. Welcome, welcome. How are you? I don't really care about the presence IDs. Oh, right. That's why we used the old ID. Now create the manager again, verify everything was restored. Do, 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 do. Say the ID of the presence or the persistence. Yes. Okay. I think we're okay. 138. Semicolon. We need to look at that's helpers. Oh, right. We need to change the way this works. It's fine. We want to map to active index, not the other way. All right, what is this doing? Presence. Wait, is that active? Oh, right. Okay. This is G value. So this is index. Which we won't know yet. But that's fine. Oh, we'll see this. All right. This is okay. This is mapping into the file. Okay, that's fine. All right. So what we want to do is we want to say we do need the presence, but that's fine. G uint position equals 0. position equals G value, get uint value. Then we say, yeah, this is fine. If position, I don't have the thing. Shit. Or do I? I have the item in the data, don't I? Yeah, what is this guy? G settings. Find with mapping. Destroy notify. Okay, so I do have the manager there. Okay, good. I was like, shit, I don't have what I need. Arguably, we don't need this anymore, but we'll leave it. If position is less than manager presence's length, then no. I don't know if this works. We'll have to try. Oh, we just returned no. Okay. Purple, sage presence, star presence equals null. Presence equals G pointer array. Index manager presence is I. No position. Right, well, that should fix that part. But this part, we have to get the active mapping. So we get the ID, we do find with ID. But we need to put in position. I know I'm jumping between position and index. It's probably a mistake. Alright, more breakage. G variant. No. The hell was it? It's a new string. Sure. Okay. Unused parameter data 235. Oh. Yep. That'd be a problem. I didn't change the name. Index mapping. Cool. Oh, the test passed. All right, okay. We'll make sure the test passed. Cool. But now we got a whole bunch of other broken stuff, which is okay. So what we do want to do is we want to do set active from ID. Maybe. I think that makes sense. This stuff's gonna go away, like I said too. And we're going to leave it for now. We're going to do one commit to do this. Then we're going to build a back end, which will be a separate pull request. And then we'll move to implement the back end, and then probably do implement the back end and the SQL back end at the same time. Or do them as two separate commits. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, why don't we do a set active ID? Do we want... Well, we'll start here. G-return if fail is manager. G-return if fail. Verbster empty ID. Alright, so we can just say presence equals find with ID. Manager ID index. If purple is saved presence, purple presence manager set active index, manager index. Right? The whole point of this is so people don't have to keep doing this. Right? It's just a little helper API. But this is making me wonder if we should have set active from index, set active from ID. I think we're going to rename it to that. And of course, we're going to have to write unit test and shit for this, but that's fine. Purple presence manager set active from ID. Add ID, the ID of the presence to set. Sets the active presence to the one. So the manager, whatever, sets the active presence to the presence with the given ID. Returns true if the presence was found and activated, otherwise false. Alright, that's why we want to put that in there so people can be like, oh, it didn't work. Let me create my presence. Wow, chat's real quiet tonight. Like, nothing wrong with that, just you guys are more quiet than normal. We might have to annotate the property here. We'll see. You'll speak? Huh? How's it going, Raid? How are you? Like, there have been 5 messages now total between Twitch and YouTube, and I've been streaming for an hour. It's very quiet. So, counting your 2 messages, we're at 5 total across both platforms. That's what I mean by it's really quiet here. Wait, why is Presence Roll still here? Did I not switch branches? Yeah, well, that's part of the problem. This is just supposed to be on... it can't go on defaults. It's got to be on top of connection protocol regression, but... It's like there's too much here that's changing. Ah, first one's premature. Yeah, it happens. It happens. There you go. Now people are talking. I mean, you could have done it like 1 word per message too. That would have really gotten the message count up. How is ID not used? Oh, we don't check ID 1. That's fine. Get rid of that. And 119. Okay. Now I'm yawning. Go figure. Waking people up? Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, I didn't fix the type. That's a problem. Okay. Is that active from ID? Oh, right, the G returns. But after this stuff all lands, we'll be able to actually set our presence. Well, we'll be able to build the stuff that sets our presence. Yak shaving galore. Yeah, so nothing uses this aside from, you know, my documentation stuff and all that, which is fine. You know, like the demo protocol plugin looks at the status, but it's not going to need to in the future. Because one of the other things we're going to do is we since have added, I think we added it. Did we merge it? Yeah, we did add it. So purple connection now, or protocol in the connection. Purple connection. My bad. Purple connection now has a virtual function called set presence, and you get passed to save presence. So what we're gonna do here too, and we should do this, is we'll update the presence, yeah, and then we'll call set presence with the save presence. We'll put that in here right away. Oh, shit. No, that's not gonna go here. Purple dot account manager should call connection dot set presence. Purple dot account manager should watch. Oh, that's gonna be annoying, but it's okay. Connect to the purple dot presence manager dot notify colon active presence signal and call purple dot connection dot set presence for all online accounts. It's gonna be a bit before we can get to this. I'm just gonna assign it to me. No one else is gonna get to it. Actually, yeah, we can just do this whenever. It's fine. Small. Yeah. Boom. So this way, when the presence manager changes, the account manager managing all the accounts knows which accounts are online. Accounts that are online have a presence object, or have a connection object, I should say. And then from there, we can then set their state. It's still going to be up to the protocols to grab their state at connection time. Yeah. Like we're gonna leave that part to them. Although I suppose we could set it on connect, but that might get weird. But I don't know. We'll see. All right. But either way, that needs to be done. That's cool. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, so path and that's gonna go away. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So we're workable right now, I think. Yeah, I think so. G branch, presence manager updates. Update purple dot presence manager to work off of the track the active presence via index. This makes it easier to map into thing that wants to use the glist model interface. And yeah, sure. All right. Where is my widget? Oh, we didn't do that other part. Oh no, that's in the account manager. Yep. Presence manager. Oh, shit. It's fine. Presence chooser. I forgot the keep branches thing. All right. This is probably gonna. Oh, no, this isn't gonna break in fun ways because I didn't have a way to set active. Was the problem? So our way to verify this right now is we are going to have to watch, where do we store this? Is it just in Pidgin3.ini? Where the shit do we actually store this? Like, I know we map it to G settings, but where? Oh, there's supposed to be a manager.ini in presences? Or something? What? Oh, we haven't actually been setting this. That's the problem. So the file doesn't exist. All right. So that's not, none of this is going to do anything right now. Right? That's because we don't have the active stuff set to it, right? There needs to be some styling fix. Part of the issues with the styling here, you'll notice some of this looks a little off, is the icons are up a little bit because they have a drop shadow on them. I'm not too worried about that stuff right now, right? This is much more helpful than anything else right now. Why isn't the search working? Weird. Maybe I don't have that part wired up. I don't know. All right, so anyways. Okay, so we got our drop down. Then we want to say binding. We can't bind that from here, can we? That's dumb. Not unless we put a property on it. Oh, we set the model here. I guess we'll do this here. G object bind property. The source is going to be G object manager active index comma G object chooser drop down comma what is the property again? I think it's selected. Position of selected item. G bindings. What is this? Like bidirectional and default or sync create. G binding flags. Bidirectional sync create. There we go. All right. Again, still no manager file. That's fine. Ninja Mason Dev. Go on. Still no manager INI. That's okay. There we go. Cool. It works! I mean, it doesn't actually do anything, but it works! Right, so why do we do all that code? Because you saw what I did to make it work. Right? By finessing the main object code, we just made the UI implementation ridiculously easy. And that's something we're trying to get to, something we want to do, right? So, yeah. And more importantly, right? So we're gonna set this to dead. Then we're gonna exit, and then we're gonna rerun, and we should be dead again. Yeah, cool. So these two aren't ideal. There's still some cleanup that has to be done. We want to change the back end, stuff like that, right? But that works, right? It does what it's supposed to do, and that's awesome. All right, so we're gonna stack one, or so diff. Yep. I don't think there's much more we have to do here. This is the part I got stuck at, and I was like, well, I could make it work the hard way and blah blah blah. I'm like, or I can go fix the model or the list model, and it'll get much easier. So you see why I fixed the list model. Because, oh, now we're done. Okay. So one more thing we want to do here. We're going to stack this on top of here. This is fine. But this is all going to be for testing. So the account manager. All right. Connected. Did we move this to signal groups? I don't know that we did. We did not. Yeah, fuck. All right. This is going to be more than I wanted to do, but that's okay. That or we can do it the shitty way, and then we can come back to it that way. Oh, actually, no, that doesn't make things easy. Okay. Well, we can cheat right now. So when the account is connected, um, this should be... No, wait, what? Yeah, oh, hold on. I'm overthinking things. I'm mixing stuff up in my head, and it's it's not going well. All right. So init happens too early, so we want to put this in constructed. But yeah, so what this is going to do is this is going to add the signal handler for the presence manager. I'm doing all right for an X. How about yourself? Actually, we need to look at core.c. That has to be first. Yep. Likewise, we should probably shut it down first. Account manager, presence manager shut down. Okay. Doing great? Awesome. Good to hear it. Alright, so we need to G object class purple account manager parent class constructed obj, right? Purple account manager obj presence manager Okay, first we call that guy, then we say presence manager equals purple presence manager get default G signal connect object presence manager active presence G callback purple account manager present active presence changed. Oh, my bad. Notify active presence callback account manager comma G signal connect default. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We don't care about the old or new or anything, just whatever it is what it is. Static void G object star source. We actually don't care about that. G GNU C unused. Actually, we can use it. That's fine. We don't care about the param spec. G GNU C unused. G param spec PSPC. G pointer data. Purple account manager equals data presence manager presence manager source purple saved presence star presence saved presence equals null saved presence equals purple presence manager get active presence manager. Now we want to rip through all the connected accounts, which should be a glist store. Yep. Okay. So then we're going to say, all right, grab the saved presence. I'll run through the connected accounts and set next accounts, get their connections, and set the presence. For GU and I equals 0. This is probably easier. Uint and items equals 0. Okay, yep. I is less than n items. I plus plus. Purple account, star account equals no. Connection, star connection equals no. Count equals G list model get item model I. If purple is account, we'll do it this way. Account, then we'll do this. Connection equals purple account get connection count. If purple is connection, we're just trying to be very protective here, right? Purple is connection. Then we say purple connection set presence. Connection presence. We named it save presence. right? And then here we say G clear object, ampersand account. That should do it. Give me that first. Purple presence. Oh, it's just get active. It's not get active presence right now. We didn't make that change yet, which is fine, but we'll have to come back, and that's okay. It's supposed to say connection 335. G. Oh, it's G connect default. 393. That's very wrong. Oh. During the unit tests. Oh, you know what? Let's make this a little better. G test. Yeah. If not, G test initialized. Yeah, that's a much better way. Rather than just, you know, potentially hiding that. If we're not under the unit test, right? So returns true if G test in has been called. If we're not under the unit test, add the signal. There's a couple other spots where we should do that. But I didn't know about G test initialized until recently. Knew they tried to make a backdoor for encrypted chats. It didn't happen since Germany voted no. Okay, cool. Germany did vote no. I've been loosely keeping track of that. But yeah. They developed chat client. You got an opinion about it? I mean, the thing about backdoors is they're not. Right? Backdoors are security through obscurity. And security through obscurity is bad because once somebody finds out about it, the door's open. Anybody can do whatever they want. That's a problem, right? So we don't want that. Right? But that said, so like I'm not building a chat network or anything, so like this kind of stuff wouldn't affect me. Right? But like the thing is that the thing people don't realize about end-to-end encrypted chats is end-to-end encrypted chats are only actually end-to-end encrypted. They're not necessarily end-to-end encrypted already, right? So in cryptography, there's this thing called M of N, right, which makes it so that multiple participants can all have their own ways to decrypt the conversation, right? This is how like a multi-user chat works when it's encrypted, or and so on, right? Or how you have multiple devices that have different encryption keys that allow you to decrypt the chat for multiple things, right? The thing is, like, one of the big reasons why we need third-party client. Well, actually, it doesn't even matter if it's a third-party client, right? The thing is, servers can backdoor that whenever they want, right? They don't need to tell you about their device that's connected to their conversation, right? And there's no proof of this happening anywhere, but this is definitely a real attack vector, right? So like, just because like on like Matrix or Telegram or even Signal, right? It'll list the keys of your devices that are allowed, and it'll list the participants of the chat. That doesn't mean they have to list their server that's on there. Right? So it's shitty, but there's a way to do it. Right? It's like, do you trust this chat? Do you trust this device? Yes. Okay, well, we're going to encrypt for this. But it turns out we didn't actually use the end user's encrypted key. We used our own encryption key so that when it hits the server, we then decrypt it with our key and then re-encrypt it with their key, right? It's not 100%, but it's definitely a possibility. It's something that could be there, right? They can add extra devices on each side, stuff like that, and like it shouldn't happen, but it's potentially possible. But yeah, so be careful is what I'm saying. All right, so my presence here says I'm resting. If I go to available, oh yeah, look at that. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, like so much of it depends on. So like the encryption's supposed to happen on the device, right? But like, I'm not sure if Matrix and stuff tell you all the other devices that your friends are using, right? So like, if your friends are using multiple devices and you want to look up like, how are you encrypting to them and stuff, right? I don't even know if that's even a thing here. Okay, so I am encrypted talking to Patrick Cloak. Security and privacy. Right. How does that work with history, right? Like, I don't know that I can see the devices that the other side has, right? So, like, if I'm signing to like their so the way M event generally works is right. Everybody like the encrypted password gets like, what ends up happening is the encryption key, the main thing that encrypts the entire thing, is hidden behind your password, right? And your device never actually sees it. It's behind your password, right? So when you have a multiple device, you have multiple different passwords that decrypt to the main encryption key that gets you to everything else, right? The thing is, a service provider can just add another one of those on about it and not tell you about it. And that's the bigger concern, right? So like, I don't see a way here, and maybe I'm missing something, right? I haven't dug into this that much. Um, just from a cryptography point of view, it's just, like if I can't verify these sessions are this person, then how can I verify that they're not the provider and that they're not backdooring it, right? That becomes the problem, right? Because right now, according to Matrix here, at least under Element Web, I have no way to verify that Patrick's messages here are all from him, right? I have no way to check his devices or anything. And the device stuff is a privacy thing, right? To be sure, right? So there's a trade-off here of the two. But like, okay, well, I can't verify any of that, so is this really him? I don't know. Windows recall system makes encryption not work. I mean, recall's an entirely different beast. But recall is literally what a lot of malware does, right? Malware will get into your machine and they will just screenshot your computer, okay, on an interval or whatever, and they'll slurp up whatever data they can. Like there's literally malware out there that does that, and the fact that Microsoft's trying to make that like a product is absolutely ridiculous. But Microsoft gonna Microsoft. What are you gonna do? Right? So, all right. So we have a status chooser. It works. It calls the protocols. We are good to go here. Yeah. But if the main key is generated on your device and then it's encrypted using your account credentials, assuming the provider doesn't store your pass in plain text, how do they get the main key? It's a matter of whether or not they use your main key, right? Oh, you're talking about from a end-to-end encryption point of view. So that one might be okay. I don't know. I might be missing a part two, right? I'm pretty sure I'm missing a part two. I'm by no means a cryptographer. Take anything I say cryptographically as as probably wrong, right? But there's always the concern about like your multiple devices and stuff like that. But like I'm trying to think when I set up a new Matrix device, do I have to give it the big ass key? So let's see. So I have a security code. Is that the... Okay, maybe that is it. Okay. So I have my own custom security code. Yeah. It might be fine, right? I'm, like I said, I'm by no means a cryptographer. This is... But something to watch out for, right? Is like... the security of that key is the important part, right? And that's where it becomes an issue, right? But like there's the whole other factor, like the way a lot of this comes from is the impersonation attack, right? So like Raid, say like I find an account on Matrix that I think is you, and like we haven't verified via a side channel, right? Because so much of this depends on side channel verification, right? This is the whole idea of PGP signing parties that we used to do, but nobody wants to do anymore, right? Like you would verify this person is who they say they are, and verify their, you know, their government issued ID, and then verify that they have this key. Although, you know, so the way you do it is you'd verify that, and then you would sign their key and send them the signature for them to import into their key ring. But you encrypt it with the key that they gave you, right? You encrypt it with a public key so that they have to have the private key to decrypt it to get your signature. But like a lot of the time on like Matrix, for example, right? You just start a peer-to-peer channel or an end-to-end encrypted conversation with somebody, right? But there's no reason why they can't pretend they're they can't pretend that they're person. So say you want to talk to your person A, you want to talk to person B. Somebody can pretend to be person B to you to get that part of your conversation, and then they can forward it onto the other side, making them look like you on that side, right? So, you know, you've got A and B. This user here is A prime and B prime, right? So they present as B prime to A prime, or to A, and they present as A prime to B. And then they just they monster in the middle everything. Right. But if you don't actually do that side channel verification, then you're screwed, right? Then your end-to-end encryption is still potentially flawed. You need to do that verification so you know who you're talking to, right? So there's all parts of that. I don't call it man in the middle attack anymore. I call it monster in the middle, because guess what? It's not always a man. What if it's Optimus Prime? Oh, well, then you're just fucked, right? Because aliens exist and the government's coming for them. Just find it interesting. We knew, what'd you say? We know, we got an ad starting here in a second. Oh, it actually did already start. Monkey in the middle attack. I mean, I think that's something different, Crazy Crystals, but fair. On the same page? Yeah. I mean, but like the thing that's important is, you know, the provider always has an elevated permission level, right? Even in end-to-end encryption, it all depends on what's being presented and stuff like that, right? And you need to be careful of that. And, you know, preferably you would be able to somehow verify that somebody has these devices, stuff like that. But again, not a cryptographer. This is just, you know, me going, you know, I know Omeo and Double Ratchet is supposed to be pretty good, but like PGP is still unbroken, but nobody uses it because it's a pain in the butt and the tools suck, honestly. But like, if you don't do the right verification, it doesn't matter, right? So like way back in the day when people, like when we could still use key servers, people would just randomly sign my key without ever meeting me. And it's just like, stop. That's not how this is supposed to work at all. Right? Like, oh, close enough. Sure. The monkey in the middle. I don't know. Monkey in the middle is like, all right, well, if you guys aren't going to give me back my whatever, I'm just going to bite the shit out of one of you. And then you're going to run away and drop my shit. Right? That's the monkey in the middle attack. How's it going, G-Bound? Welcome. This is us all trying to keep the government. No, I mean, it's not even the government anymore, right? I mean, it's still the government, but it's more than the government, right? Like, do you trust Facebook with anything? Or Meta, right? So that's Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. Do you trust them with anything? Fuck no. Right? Do you trust Microsoft, who wants to screenshot your desktop constantly at all? No. Right? They're like, the government attack vectors are like people used to get worried about the government spying on them and stuff because the government was the big bad. The problem is the FANG companies are bigger than the governments now, right? And like, like what's the government going to come after you for, right? Whereas Facebook's just going to sell your data and then someone's going to buy it and then, you know, pretend to be you. And you know they're gonna wreck your credit and you know somehow steal your pension or your retirement funds and something like that, right? That's what's really gonna happen. But like the government stuff, nobody gives a shit about the governments anymore. Like nothing happened after all this Snowden stuff, and yeah, it's because the government spying on you is not really a big deal, right? Because they're just I'm not trying to say it's not a problem. I'm just saying there's much bigger problems now. What even is government? But like, yeah, I don't know. Okay, cool. The NSA probably has a file on me. Sweet. I'm more worried about what Facebook has on me and when they're going to get hacked and when they're going to have a data leak, right? That's what I'm worried about. Like the NSA will just try to, you know, look if I'm doing anything, I mean, not even necessarily, but possibly, you know, treasonous or whatever, right? Whereas Facebook is just like, lol, we lost your shit, good luck. And then, you know, that data leak ends up somewhere and shows up on Have I Been Pwned, and somebody gets that data leak, and then all of a sudden, my bank accounts are drained, my identity's stolen, and so is all my 401ks, right? That's a bigger issue than the NSA having anything about me. Info stealers go around way too much now. Yeah, exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. There are enough people who truly care about the privacy for anyone to do anything about it. Yeah, exactly. Right. And to be fair, I was on that board too, right? Back in the early 2000s, it was like, yeah, Google, you just give up a little bit of privacy for all this free stuff. And now it's just like, oh fuck, what did we do? Right? And now it's like, yeah, that was not a good move. Not at all. It's okay, they paid for 6 months of credit monitoring for the data breach. Yeah, exactly. Politics change day to day. I mean, do they though? What's written stay forever. So in some countries that data can be used against you in the future. Yeah, I mean, that's an option too. But, yeah. Okay, so this basically works. We don't have anything fancy to do the other stuff, but that's okay. And actually, I'm curious. Did we actually need this part? We're just going to do this for a second. And build again. Looks really nice. Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. It's taking some time. We got a lot of stuff to do yet. There's still lots of polishing, right? Polishing being like making sure icons are positioned right, making sure padding and whatever stuff. All that stuff needs to be here. But we're getting there. Although it's really weird for IRC in particular to see status messages next to everybody. And what's even more, or in the conversation list, what's even more funny about it is, oh, we need to handle, oh, okay, no, the protocol needs to handle that, but that's okay. But what's more funny is, okay, yeah, we do, okay, yeah, that is doing exactly what it needs to do, sweet. What's more funny is you can tell who's the Pidgin users by their, or you can tell which clients people are using by their away messages, which is a whole nother problem, right? And that's something we need to consider in the future too. And maybe, that's not actually not a bad idea. How do we do that? All right, we'll come back to that. Maybe that's a plugin. The idea was to have a random away message, but that only gets you so much. I mean, generally knowing what a client's using isn't necessarily a problem, but on something like IRC, it gets to be a little bit more interesting, right? So like most of the time, on like a modern chat protocol, right? On your Discord, your Slacks, your Teams, your Skypes, your Telegram, whatever. Actually, I think Telegram tells you. You don't know what client the other person's using, right? But if you do know what version they're using, you might be able to go look up in CVE databases and stuff and find somebody that has like a bad ping handler exploit or something, right? And then, all right, well, you can just start spamming those chat rooms with a malformed image that shows up in the, it shows up in the chat automatically. And now you've possibly exploited that user, right? Now, generally speaking, people are just going to like spearfish with that. I know it's not phishing, but I don't know what else you call it. Right, where they'll just spam a channel with it and see what happens, right? But with IRC, it gets a little bit more problematic because you can still see the IP addresses, like G-Bound said, right? A lot of IRC networks, especially Libera, will try to mask your ID. And there's stuff we're doing in Pidgin to help with that, in Pidgin 3 to help with that too. But when you have the IP address, right, it becomes a lot easier to set up a remote access Trojan or something. But I guess you don't really need the IP per se. Because most rats nowadays, remote access Trojans, they would dial out to a command and control server, or they would reverse proxy out, right? Because like when you're trying to exploit somebody and you've got your shell code or your exploit payload, right? You're not trying to like traverse their NAT, because fuck that, right? It's hard enough to do that when you want to legitimately do it. So what you do as the attacker is you just have some server out on the internet somewhere that will accept their connections. And then your exploit will connect to that server directly, just like it's any other thing on the internet. So yeah. You see, old days in IRC had a lot of fun there. I mean, IRC is still around. It's still here. Didn't go anywhere. I mean, technically that's not true. Freenode moved to Libero, chat. Don't go to Freenode. Freenode is a nightmare. You don't want to be there. But yeah. You just have it on your Raspberry Pi, I guess, and hope nobody drowns you. You have what, IRC? Modern malware doesn't assume a person is port forwarded. Yeah. And these aren't the days where, these aren't the Windows 98 days where people had their cable modems connected via USB directly to their machines. And you could just, browse all their files on their file systems because Samba. Oh, residential IP. Gotcha. Yeah. Is IRC client for Twitch, though? Yeah, I mean, that works. For now. Twitch is slowly pushing everybody away from that, but yeah. As you can tell, I had another life as a hacker. And I kind of gave up on that when I got old enough to be, what do you call it? Tried as an adult. It's just like, okay, I don't want to actually do jail time here, so let's go do something productive. And that was long before we had ethical hacking and all that stuff. So, yeah. Boon Tech isn't com or former. You mean criminal? What? What do you mean com? I mean, there's lots of people that aren't. I'm not sure what you mean by com, though. All right, HC branch, account manager, set presence. Yeah, what's com? Online cybercrime? How do you get com out of that? You're in IRC until recent, but not many active people. I mean, it depends. It is what it is, right? So like G-Bound has shown up on the Pidgin IRC and talks occasionally, and that's sprung other people to start talking, right? Like just even saying hi. It's like, hey, how's it going? What are you up to? Blah, 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 right? And it goes, right? And like before that, nobody was saying hi. So. You try? Yeah. No, I appreciate it, right? Anybody getting discussion going anywhere is cool. One of the problems is with Pidgin being a multi-protocol client, right? We have presences all over the place. And like, it's a lot for me to try to stay active in all of those places, right? So like we've got a development room on XMPP. We've got a general room on XMPP. We have a room on Libera. We have a room on OFTC. We have our discourse. We have a subreddit. There's technically a Lemmy, which I don't frequent often. There's technically a Matrix room. We had a Slack that we were using that the purple Slack person put together that we were using for a while. Right? There's all these places. And it's just, like, even with bridges, it's still a lot. Like, like trying to, like, keep track of who's who, who's where, right? And then for me on top, right, I've got Twitch and YouTube. So I'm keeping track of people in these. And then sometimes people will talk to me about something we talked to on stream, but I don't know, but their Twitch name is different than their IRC name, and I don't know who they are. And right, it's just a million things in my head, and it's a lot. Like a lot. And you're just like, yeah, well, I'm trying. Like, so if I ever misname somebody or I don't know who you are, please don't take it personally. Please. Like, case in point, there's somebody who may show up later tonight because they're somewhere in Europe who changed their name. And I only know it because I happen to see it in the audit channel on Discord. Or like there was some way I pieced it together that it was them and they completely changed their name. And I'm just like, oh, okay, well, I know who they are now because I got that one little context piece, right? So yeah. You, with the exception of 4 to 6 years, have always had your own channel and moderate a handful of other IRC. Oh, nice. Yeah, like way back in the day, we used to run a Where's IRC network. This is before Pidgin, before I got involved in Pidgin. Right, so like IRC will always have a special place in my heart. Like, so when I was a teenager, I used to use AOL, and I had a Mac at the time. So I spent a lot of my time in Mac files and Zelifcam. And then everyone's like, well, if you want to get the real wares ahead of time, blah, 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 you got to go to IRC. So I don't even know what IRC client I was using on Mac OS 7.5. Maybe it was Mac OS 8 at that point. I don't know. Right. So like, that's when I started learning that. That's also when I learned about Hotline file sharing. And I kind of want to bring Hotline back just because it was such a weird thing and such an odd time. And there are some people that are kind of bringing it back, stuff like that. But I think it'd be cool to have a Pidgin protocol plugin for it, stuff like that, blah, 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 right? But yeah. You started on PC tech support? Yeah, I don't even remember what IRC networks I was on, honestly. It was probably FNet. I know I used to download South Park episodes from XDCC bots. I used to play trivia on those channels, or there was like some South Park channel with trivia in it I used to play on all the time. Telnet as an IRC client? What? What do you mean? I mean, can you even? Oh, I need to give a port. That would help. Nick, Telnet, user, Grim, star, 0, foo, cap end. I gotta do this fast. Shit, where's my Pidgin window? Come on, get in there. What do you mean? Private message, Pidgin. What's up, Devenv? Did you get the point yet? See ya. I kind of know the IRC protocol too well. Hang out on FNet, nice. Oh yeah, the scarier part is I just did all that without any reference. Yep. No reference, just connected to IRC and talked. Can't imagine why I'm interested in building a chat client. Because, oh yeah, I don't want to use Telnet. I was trying to avoid pings too. So as long as I sent a message every minute, I wouldn't have to send a ping. The pings aren't hard, but you have to send the whatever the payload they send you, you have to send it back. But yeah. But yeah. Oh, actually, here. Oh, we should have done that. Whatever. I don't want to join again. But so here. So there's a problem right now, and I'm trying to work with them with the IRCv3 people on the spec stuff. Because there's no way to do it at the moment. There's no way to sync a channel at startup. So Pidgin 2 just, yep, see, this is IRC, and oh, they have a status message in here now. That's amazing, right? My Pidgin 3, I can't set the status, so, but yeah. And also inadvertently, because of a bug in the IRC protocol plugin, I'm not clearing away messages when people rejoin and stuff, but that has become an interesting solution, or an interesting, and the solutions isn't an interesting feature. So like, I can see people's last quit message or part message, because we, I don't know why we did that. Maybe I should undo it. But like we set the quit message to, oh no, that's why we did it. So we set their status message to their quit message. Oh, you're right. And that's just going to be the way I'm going to fix it. Okay. Right. So like if somebody is in your contact list and they're offline, right, we can show you their quit message. But then it got me wondering of going, you know, it might be interesting, although I don't necessarily want to build this into Pidgin itself, but it might be interesting to have their previous status message. But that also kind of teeters on the line of stalkerware, right? That's not something we really want to do, obviously. But yeah, so like, I suppose I can share. This is not a huge deal. There's nothing major here. And this is just the Pidgin room. You guys can't see anything else here. But if I drop this over to here, right? So like, bam, everybody has a status message. But okay, so Reconaro, I'm not here right now. Yep. That's a Pidgin user because that's the default message, right? That might be in Spanish, right? But yeah. Ivanhoe, I think he's using Pidgin with it being auto away. This one I don't think is a Pidgin message, right? But like, oh, quit, ping timeout, 120 seconds. But yeah, and actually that should be an easy fix now that I think about it. We should just be able to say, when somebody comes online or something, if their status is available, we just kill the message. Because IRC doesn't have available messages, they only have away messages or quit messages. Or part messages, but we don't care about part messages. We'll display them, but we won't show, like they don't show as status messages. But quit messages make sense because, you know, you can see what they actually said when they quit, and go from there. So, all right. Let's stack these pull requests, and then I need to pee and get water. All right, issue branch, yeah. Create a basic presence chooser. This only allows you to choose from existing presences and doesn't open the manager or editor or anything like that yet. All right. A client you're using sprinkles bits of splits and net joins in a way all over your open tabs, and it gets kind of annoying. Yeah, so like one of the things we built into Pidgin 3 is because, again, from the multi-protocol aspect, some protocols like IRC announce joins and parts. Other channel or other things like what was the other example? Like Discord don't, right? Discord, you don't even know somebody left the server, right? So not unless you're an admin and you see it, right? Yeah, have a good one, Crazy Crystals. Thanks again for coming by. We'll catch you later. Right, so like when you add somebody to a conversation or when you remove somebody from a conversation, the API now has an announce property or parameter, right? So whether or not it should be announced. And then that there's also a parameter for a message, right? So what, I don't know why I'm describing it when I can just literally show you. Conversation members. So there's add member, right? So everything's based on the contact info, and this will give you back a conversation member. So this is the bare-boned object that holds most of the data about the user. The conversation member adds this, it holds on to the info and then adds conversation-specific stuff. That gets a little complicated. It's for the multi-protocol stuff. It's fine, right? But then as a property called announce and message. We need to decide, like, this gets you the basics of it so you don't get flooded on like Discord and stuff like that. But there are still people that don't want to see it on IRC, right? So we still have to give them the opportunity to hide or show them. And I'm not sure how we want to do that yet is the problem. Also does really crap at X's online when you first sign in too. Oh, that sucks, right? But either way, you know, this was the starting to get something there, but like we can figure out the other thing later. Like I know a lot of people got upset in Pidgin 2 when we removed the hide join and part option and moved it to a plugin. But like the plugin option is much more featureful than what we had, right? It was a full hider show, whereas the plugin stuff will be like what are the options? I can just let's just look at the options. I don't know why I'm trying to remember when I can just fucking remember. Join part hiding, right? Okay, so for rooms with more than 10 people, it'll hide them, right? If the user hasn't spoken in, I guess I was throwing random numbers in here, in 480 minutes, so 4 hours, right? Don't show their part, who cares, right? And then whether or not you show this to people who are on your contact list, right? This is much better solution. Like imagine if we had this in all the preferences, right? And maybe it'll make sense to do it. Maybe, I don't know, right? But like, we're not to the point where it's a problem yet. I mean, it's kind of annoying for me because, I mean, you saw my Pidgin window, right? So number one, there's too much space in here because I made the icons big and these don't have icons and blah, 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 right? But it's a lot of that. And it sucks, but right? It's not the end of the world. But you know, it would be nice for people who haven't said anything, you know, in a day. I don't care that they left, right? It's just whatever. So yeah, got bugs and hasn't been developed since 2012. Oh, your client? Oh, that sucks. Yeah, you try to get some sleep. Yeah, go for it, Fornax. Thanks for coming by, hanging out. Got work at a few. Yeah, get some sleep, get some rest. That about sending the join part message directly to a log instead of showing them in chat for bigger channels. Yeah, I mean, like, there's all sorts of different ways you can do it too, right? And the thing is, I don't necessarily want to hide it. I'm trying to make things more adaptable. Or I don't want to throw it away, right? So I don't want to like I want to hide it, but I haven't figured out how that's gonna work yet, right? So like I want to have messages where you can toggle them on and off, right? Just like the formatting stuff, right? For too long, we've been in this state where it's either strip all the formatting or get all the formatting, right? So the first thing was, and it kind of mostly works, but it has some bugs I need to work out. But when you turn the hide formatting option off in Pidgin 3, I can just show you this, right? This isn't going to work necessarily the first time, but it's fine. And Pidgin 3. Come on. I need to figure out if this is my machine or Pidgin 3 as well. My machine has some weird I/O problems, but it's okay. Come on. And this is definitely a My Machine problem right now. Right, so if we look at, God, this fucking IO nonsense. Makes it visible for friends if there's a friend option. Right, see, that's an option too, right? But okay, so you see all this formatting for the message of the day, right? So we can turn it off. Okay, wait, didn't turn off, but that's okay, right? Oh, shit, I have to close this. Go here, come here, right? That's the bug, is that it doesn't automatically refresh, right? We can turn it off, right? But now we can also turn it back on, right? We didn't throw away the formatting. We chose not to display it, right? That's very different than what most clients do, right? And one of the other things we want to do is have one that strips color but leaves formatting, right? So like bold and we don't have this done yet. So like bold and italics would be kept, but anything that matches foreground color or background color would be thrown out. What are you on about? Tigers? What the fuck is SGD and the TC way? But yeah, anyways, the idea is, you know, we want to handle this at the display layer, not at the whatever. All right, start making sense or I'm just going to ban you because you seem to not, you seem to just be a spammer. But yeah, so that's, you know, that's one of the things we're trying to do is, and this, the same deal with join parts, right? So like, say you want to hide join parts, but like when you notice one of your friends isn't in the room anymore. You go to Tchaikovsky. Okay. But okay, say you're in a room and one of your friends leaves, right? You didn't notice it. And you want to, you're like, when did they leave? Right? Okay, well, turn on the parts and then you can go find when they left, right? Whereas if you're just hiding joints and parts and you throw it away, you don't know, right? You just have no idea. So that's one of the ideas where we're trying to get more to focusing on displaying, hiding displays rather than throwing data away. All right. Where are we in this branch? We need to presence manager updates. Oh, is that it? Okay, I thought there was another one in there, but that's okay. I don't think we ran turtles on this, but that's okay. We'll do it. This depends on, was it this one? Yeah, this is the bug, right? No. This had a ticket because I needed it. Yeah, this is the one we need. I think. Yeah, this should be on all the protocols and stuff. Yeah, this is regression, blah, 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 blah. Yep. Have a good one, Fornax. Catch you later. Thanks for coming by and hanging out. I need to leave that discourse. I don't do anything on it. I don't care about it. I had to join it for some stupid reason. And now I get emails about updates, and I don't care. All right. Ninja Turtles. Mason tells mine is V. This was Presence Manager. Wonder what that's about, but okay. Alright. Arbor T pose depends on 4224. Yeah, we're probably going to do the same with a bunch of, like, even the credential manager. We can make the selection list work better by putting in the index property like we did here, the selected index. And that'll just make things much easier. But yeah, one of the other things, two of the main things that are sticking points for me with using Pidgin 3 are there's no way to mention somebody, so you have to type it by hand, which sucks, and I fuck it up all the time. And the other issue is there's no way to see that you have been mentioned. We need to solve both of those. Those are the more important things for me than something like we still need to get all this back end or whatever stuff done. But like from a usability point of view, those need to be there. But I also need to get XMPP working so that I can mostly stop using Pidgin 2, which will definitely make me use Pidgin 3 more. So, and the test under Valgrind and called in the turtles. So a lot more cleanup to do here, but I'm planning on moving this to using a backend for storage. So I didn't want, but didn't want to mess with that in this pull requests. All right. And one of the other things is I've got ideas of how we can make the presence chooser add additional menu items and stuff. I need to figure it out, but we're getting there. So, yeah. The first thing is make it work, and then we'll add additional features later. Yeah, okay, and then the task stuff is what needed all the updates. That's fine. That is fine. Publish. All right, so that is. It's so nice not getting spammed by Anubis all the time. The amount of Ansible I had to write for that too was stupid. Actually, we can just do this. This should work. Yeah. So forget about the vault changes. The vault gets, anytime you change anything in the vault, it gets, everything changes. Right. But so take 1063 off of that. It's just, it was a lot. A lot of stuff, a lot of tasks, a lot of servers. Yeah, Ansible's not so bad. At work, I do Salt, but Ansible's okay. It's not a big deal. It's just, Review Board has a lot of moving parts, right? So, like, I need a Postgres. I need a memcache. Review Board won't serve its static files, so you have to have something serving them. So I use Nginx to do that, right? But then we also then have the actual Review Board task that needs to run too, right? And it's just, it's a bunch of shit. So it took a long time to get it right. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Chef. I used Chef once at one employer, and God, I fucking hate Ruby. That's the extent of me with Chef, is I hate Ruby. And like maybe it'll be better now, but like I remember when Ruby came out, people used to rant and rave about its cleanliness, syntax, and stuff like that. And then they all just write the absolute most ridiculously hard to read Ruby code you could ever imagine. And you're just like, dude, what happened? Right? Like, come on. And like, what is it with the pipe syntax? And like, oh, well, parentheses are optional and blah, blah, blah. Stop. I've come to, after so many years programming, I have one thing that I think we should stop doing in programming languages because it just makes shit harder regardless. And that is optional syntax. Right? Optional braces, optional parentheses. Just stop. Just please, for the love of God, fucking stop. Right? It's just, ugh. just I don't know. Anybody like it seems like the people that make those arguments are never the people that have to like maintain code for a long time, right? Like I think we fixed most of them, but like I used to do this for a while, and it was just like, all right, search for this. Or, like, come on, man. Like, like, is this really better than an if block? Or like, I wouldn't necessarily use a switch for this because putting a break in there makes you have makes you have two lines where you would have one for everything else, right? But like, just use an if, right? There's some real. I think we got rid of all of them in Pidgin 3, but there might still be some real gnarly multi-line nested ternary operators in here, and it's just like, just stop. Like, for the love of God, just fucking write better code. Yeah, I mean, again, no, there's a nested. Oh, oh, it's not nested. Oh no, it is nested. If it's self-signed, right? Self-signed. Otherwise, no. Okay, yeah. Otherwise, you put the. Otherwise, if you have an issuer ID, put the issuer ID or no. Like, just stop. Right? Just make a fucking if and use a variable. And please, for the love of God, stop. Like, you shouldn't have to require all this time to do this. And like, wait, is this even required? Oh, okay, no, that's checking buddy, not the user. Okay, yeah, never mind. Right, just like, what the fuck, man? But still, some of my other worst ones are these kind of things. Yeah. Oh no, that one's not as good as I thought it was. Hold on. Let's look at this one quick. Yeah, just like, you can't type the braces, really? Why not? Like, oh, that would slow down my typing on my on my touch type collapsing key. I'm messing up words. Collapsing key keyboard that I spend $200 on, that I use in Dvorak so I can type faster. Yeah, great. Type faster. Type the fucking braces. Oh, see, these setups too, right? No braces on the if, but braces on the else if. I'm looking for the other one. There's some cases in here where we have if brace, else if brace, else if brace, else if brace, else no brace. And it's just like, dude. like here's another one. I don't understand people's justifications for this shit, right? And then they'll be like, well, I'm a keyboard purist. My typing speed is 3 million words per minute. Like, great, type the fucking braces. It's inconsequential to you. Fuck off. No brace, no brace, brace. Dude. Right? Then, obviously, okay, these are all, consistent white space. It's not necessarily preferred white space, but it's consistent, right? I'll take consistent over inconsistent any day, right? Obviously preferred it's styled the way we want it, but I will take consistent white space over inconsistent white space, which is another reason why I don't understand why people get so fucking butthurt about Python. Oh, it's white space. I don't like that. So you write shitty code everywhere? Like, your code should be legible. Like, do you not know about Shift Tab in like every editor? Maybe not Vim, but like Shift Tab. Oh, look, Tab. Oh, yep. I can just move a whole block of text at once. So, like, if I fucked up my Python and I need to get rid of a block, oh no. I don't get it. I just do not get it. People complain about the stupidest things. I'm over here like, hey, stop writing bugs. And they're like, no, I can't use white space. Jesus, man. Oh, we didn't make the search work. All right, hold on. We have to make search work. Ugh. Python used to burn you. Like, YAML burns people all the time too, but it's because YAML is taught wrong. Like, full stop. It's taught wrong. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. Roll, sure. Review board. So, YAML is taught that this is the proper syntax. First time we saw YAML and TOML, I was like, don't get me started on TOML. TOML's stupid. When you start doing the double bracket, whatever, it's just like, oh, there's too many stupid rules for it. The problem is YAML's taught like this, right? So what ends up happening is when you have something like, it's very easy to start mixing these up, right? Or, you know, so this is a list item. Yeah, whatever. Right. You just put it in at the, you know, indentation level. Because, like, YAML reads this fine. YAML doesn't care about this. YAML understands this. All the YAML parsers do this. Right. This is your indentation level for items under this guy. And it's fine. Oh, no, that's what the problem is, right? So if you do it this way, and, you know, you've got foo, bar, name to whatever, right? Foo. No, what am I thinking of? There's whatever. There's some weird example here where like it's very easy to like not do this, right? When you're supposed to do that. I don't remember the specifics, but right, just fucking start the list item where the list item is supposed to start, and then start your dictionary, and then you just don't have these problems, right? You just the entire class of problems just gone, right? 100% gone. But people want to be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. So YAML, like the official YAML site. Yep. Yep. They put the dash for the list item at the same level as the parent. And it just fucks people up all the time. Right? Why? Just indent it once more and you're fine. Oh, and this is just gross too, because these are, you know, so this is a list that has mixed content. It has a dictionary here and then strings here. And just, no, stop. Just put them where they should be, right? I don't know why you think it should be at the level of the parent, right? Because like what? Like, so, you know, if I was going to write this YAML chunk, this hunk of YAML, I don't know. That seems much more easier to read than having another right. Right. Just that or oh, but now it's indented too far. Really? I thought you're all using, these language serving processor or language server things in your editors and stuff, and they should just fucking do this for you. I don't know. Which one's easier to read? For me, it's this. So I can see each item at the level directly. Right? There's no extra noise in there. It's fine. But what do I know? Nope. I know that I fat fingered and moved my workspace. Oh, right. We're going to do search quick. Right. Exactly. Like it's a white space based language and they tell you to do it not wrong, but in a very error prone way. And people just suck at that because I don't know. Then, like that's one of the reasons people hate, not hate, but that's one of the reasons people end up struggling with YAML is, they follow the per spec from the official site. And it's just like, no, this is stupid. Like, do it the better way. Stop. All right. How do I wire up search here? Because we're missing that part. I got enable search. Oh, I think I have to do this. Okay. So GTK drop down. This probably has a property of like search filter, expression evaluate, obtain strings to match against search term, factory header, factory model, search match mode. We might check that. Select item, show arrow. We might have to look at the demo for this. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. It only has an activate. Guess there's a reason why you still do more JSON and XML. I mean, they're data exchange formats. Who gives a shit? Just fucking use one, right? Like, all of our UI files are XML. Oh, no. Oh, I can't believe in 2025 I have to write XML. Like, shut up. Just fucking do it. Like, it's like, oh, no, it's the end of the world. Like, is XML a little verbose? Sure. Has XML been abused to the point that it makes no sense for people? Yes. Do better. Yeah. Like, have you ever seen the Apple plist format? Property list. Do they have an example one in here? No, they don't. What the fuck? Apple plist example. Sample.plist on GitHub. Let's make XML in XML. So here, let's do this. Let's take their plist and make it not suck. What? So wait, is a dictionary... Okay, so wait. Items. Which contains an array. Okay. Item. Name equals assets. whatever. I'm not even trying to do the rest of this. You get the idea, right? It's just like, what the fuck? Why did you put additional data types in here when with properties or with attributes and elements, everything is already a dictionary? Right? And like, huh? It's just, and if there's one thing engineers are great at, it is overcomplicating things, right? And guilty as charged, right? I've done it plenty of times. You need to stop. You need to figure out the easy cases and go from there. Because, oh my God. Like, there's a bunch of stuff in the Pidgin code base that we have completely rehashed and made stupidly simple. And for better or worse, people did what they did at the time, and yep, it sucks. Now it's gone. Right? And that's why things are just, they work better now. There's not a drop down in here? I thought there was a drop down in here. Text is. That doesn't have search though. How the fuck do I wire up this search? Like, maybe I should read. Display selected choice. The options are given in the drop down the form of the list model, and how the individual options are represented is by the GTK list item factory. Yep, we did that. The default factory displays simple strings and adds a check marks to the selected item in the pop-up. Oh, is there a style we need to look for that? Or maybe not. Set your own item factory is possible to use a separate factory for the items in the pop-up. With that, knows how to obtain strings from the items in GTK string list. For other models, you have to provide an expression to find the strings via that. GTK dropdown can optionally allow search in the pop-up, which is useful if the list of tags is long. To enable search entry, use set enable search. Right, but like I can't get the child or anything, so how the fuck am I supposed to do this? The dropdown is created in this manner. New from strings to instance, blah, blah, blah. Note that search requires GTK dropdown expression to be set. Okay. Alright, that's fine. Alright, I gotta get water. I gotta pee. I'll be back in a minute. I switched water bottles because my water bottle smells like dish soap, and I had to put food away, put dinner away, and I'm still hungry. So leftovers, yeah. Actually, I think technically seconds is a better way to put it. All right, so I don't remember how to do expressions at all because it's been a while. There should be a GTK. Yeah, okay. So I think I can do a closure here. Did I mention closures? Yeah. So closure. No, it's gcar array. That's function, I think. Pidgin presence choose. Or, oh, I just say presence chooser. Saved presence chooser. Matcher. I don't know. I heard today. You really admire that you didn't bring facts and logic into this as not to not confuse the issue. That's beautiful. How do I actually do this though? I don't know what I'm passing in. Right, what did it actually say? The expression it does. Expression to evaluate to obtain strings to match against the search term. Okay, so we're not going to be able to do fuzzy matching here. That's stupid. It's okay, but it's dumb. We should just be able to say look up name equals message, type equals purple, saved presence. Look up name equals item, GTK list item. I think that's it. How's it going, SWK? Hope you're doing well. Doing okay. That's good. Cool. That did not like this. GTK list item not found. Yeah. How the fuck do I do this in a UI file? I might not be able to do this in a UI file, which would be stupid. So, I'm eating what I made for dinner, which is Spam casserole. It's nothing major. It's yummy, though. It's good comfort food. Anyways, coworker of mine, his wife works, or whatever, volunteers at a CSA, a community-supported agriculture farm. He said they had a bunch of habaneros and stuff. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take some, blah, blah, blah. He brings me a huge fucking bag of jalapenos, serranos, and habaneros. And now I'm trying to find anything I can put these damn things in. So I cut up 2 of them. I diced them up. I ate one tiny piece by itself. I'm like, fuck, these are hot. Like, it's got to be because they were in the same bag as the habaneros, and the habaneros are making them hotter than they should be. When they're mixed into the rest of this, it's just, you get a little pepper taste. But, like, I don't mind hot stuff. I can't do the super hots like I used to. But, like, even habaneros are not super hot for me at all. Well, like, when I was younger, I used to put ghost pepper flakes on freaking everything. So, you know, whatever. But yeah, like, my lips were tingling and shit for, like, 30 minutes while it's cooked. From that one thing, I'm just like, ugh. And now it's like, oh, yeah, barely noticed. Beating your head against the table trying to find a good IOPS balancing algorithm that favors the same accounts going to the same shard while not overloading the shard with IOPS and total rate volume and terabytes. Yeah, that sucks. Good for tasting over burning, hot, spicy. Yeah, exactly, right? I'm past my days of, let's see how hot I can take. Like, it's funny. My favorite wing sauce at Buffalo Wild Wings is one of the hot ones. Um, so many people are like, "Man, this is crazy." And I'm like, "I don't know. It tastes good." Well, yeah, it's got some spice, but it tastes good, which is the Thai curry. Well, yeah, I don't know. Fucking great. Tastes amazing. But like blazing, fuck blazing. What a wasted sauce. Tastes like burning. You love which one? Blazing or Thai curry? And like, I've done the blazing challenge before, and it's fuck the one time. So if I don't eat anything super hot in a long time, actually, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm not gonna. Oh, I was like, it's not teriyaki. But yeah, I don't know if you can hear me, so I'm gonna wait on my story till after this. Several different flavors. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait a minute till the ad's over. Um, let's okay, RG expression start UI. Yeah, the really hot one's the blazing one. There's a better way to do this, but actually, you know what? I bet you Wada has an example. Actually, it might even be a Wada demo. 20 seconds. No, this is just a basic example. Never mind. Why don't we do this? We will go into source. The UI files are all here. Yep. RG drop down. Start.ui. Love it. All right. So, anyways, the story is, so I've done the Blazing Challenge at B Dubs twice. I finished it both times. The first time was like 4.5. Second time was 3.5. But so there's this weird thing my body likes to do, where if I haven't had anything super hot in a while, when it hits my tongue and I start whatever swallowing the first bits or something, my body triggers like the hiccups, just like it's trying to get me to get to not do it. So the one time when I did the 3.5 B-dubs or blazing challenge, I don't know if they still do it. The blazing challenge was you get 5 minutes to eat 12 blazing wings. You used to get a T-shirt, your picture put on the wall, whatever. So the one time I'm sitting there with the hiccups, and I did 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the blazing challenge with the hiccups, and it's just like, yep, this is my life now. But yeah, like at Thai restaurants and stuff, I used to do the hottest spice level everywhere. Now I'm just like, man, none. Like that pad Thai tastes a lot better without my mouth burning. I want drunken noodle, not flaming tongue. All right, GTK doesn't actually have a whole lot of UI files. Or they do. They're all under UI. But there's not a lot here. Well, there's a drop down. Actually, I guess I can cheat, right? I can just look at the fucking code. I don't know why. There's going to be like GTK, expression, something. Update filter. GTK filter new from the expression. I think I have to build this. That is the name, right? Yeah. Does nobody use this fucking thing? You prefer where flavor wins over heat and can still be mild? Yeah. Like, I don't mind spice and stuff. I just don't want that to be the only thing. But like, there's this place around us. I think they're national, but I'm not sure how big they are. Called Dave's Hot Chicken. And after they first opened, I got a mild and a medium. I'm pretty sure I got a hot and a super hot because oh my god, I'm no pushover when it comes to heat, but fucking hell, man, it was so bad. I'm like, the only thing that makes sense is they gave me the wrong shit. Like it has to be, or like they didn't know how much sauce to put on, and they like doubled it or something, right? It was just way too much. Aha! Good. Somebody else couldn't figure this out. Oh, it's in Python. Well, I don't really care, but... Oh, they just don't put the list item in. Interesting. Okay, so hold on. So, in theory, if I just do this, it might work. Okay, well, I mean, it worked. Oh, no, it is working. Okay. Oh, it's a prefix match, though. That sucks. I wish there was a better way to do with this. I wish I could give it a custom filter. Then I could do our fuzzy matching. I wonder if they take a patch for that. There was some other thing on here for this. Search match mode. Substring. Property name equals search. What was it? Well, I said to substring. Search match mode. There we go. Right. That's much better. So it won't do fuzzy matching, right? So we don't like R space, never space, gonna, right? That's not gonna match the two. Yeah. But that's okay. It's fine, right? Any searching's better than none. I didn't have to write any code for it, right? Just had to write some XML for it. Now, actually, no, that won't work. Yeah, because this is their matcher. Their matcher is the problem. That's what I want to replace. Right. So if I can get to this filter, that would make things much better. But they just have a string filter. If there's an expression, otherwise they just do an every filter new. I can't get the filter, can I? No. So. Maybe this is like I don't want to start writing code for it if they're not going to accept it, right? I'm curious why they didn't just do it in the first place, but what are you gonna do? All right, all of my seconds. All right. Oh. And on. Oh, I want to grab a screenshot. Yeah, it's like so. There's a guy who's local here who I've had to correct his opinions on open source a couple times, but like he was like he recently posted, and we have a local Slack, and he was like, I created this patch for this thing we use at work, and the maintainer didn't want it, and they said they don't want any contributions. So then they created a contributing file, and they put 2 U's in it, and they typoed it, and I'm just like, yeah, like contributors don't have to take your contributions. And like if you're using this for work, you should probably mirror it, and keep track of your changes on top of it. Like, yeah, it sucks. That's the way it goes. Right? Like they already made it open source. They don't owe you anything. If anything, you owe them something. And that is to respect their decisions. And yep. Is it the lid? Fuck. I don't know. Something's making this smell like dish soap. I didn't change the lid. I just changed the bottle. And it's still smelling like dish soap. So it's got to be the lid. But yeah, so like I try to do my best to never like unless there's a big unless there's like a big thing where it's like, all right, this is clearly a bug, I'm gonna fix it, right? But like I'm not gonna go add some feature to some project without talking to them first. But like, hey, would you be willing to accept this? Like, is this something like does this make sense that would actually get integrated? All right. Like, okay, does GTK want to add a custom filter to the drop down box? I don't know, right? And like it seems like they should, but I'm not them. I don't know, right? But how dare they not take my crappy patch? Yeah, exactly. I like, and they don't want to do. They don't want to become a maintainer and deal with all your stuff. Great, cool. Fork it, man. Everyone tells me how great Git is, but nobody wants to actually fucking use a distributed version control tool. It's fucking ridiculous. $42.26. Just like, ugh. You fork shit all the time? Yeah. I clone shit all the time because it's just like, don't want to fix their shit? No. Because I only need like a fraction of what they do. And like, I don't want to maintain this. Like, if I'm going to have to maintain it, I'm going to maintain this on my terms, right? Like even Siegel, right? Siegel's just an alternative API, right? It smooths, it rounds off the corners, right? It makes it easier for us to deal with it. It's the same thing we do with a utility library in the project, right? But this time it's just, you know, it's a separate library, so other people don't need a utility library. So yeah, you keep a full Debian mirror. Yeah, I used to. I should probably do it again. I got enough machines. There's a few of them, couple copies of 10, 11, 12, and 13. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? If you're going to do a full mirror, you're going to do a full mirror. But 10 is no longer on the main mirrors. It's only on archive. But that's another reason to host it yourself too, right? If it's only an archive. Once you start running prod on a specific version, to keep it. Yeah, exactly. Right. We've had that problem at work. So there is archive.debian.org, which has a bunch of stuff. If you're not aware of it. Fuck, there's Ham, Lenny, Rex, Sarge. Jesus, does this go all the way back? Woody? Yeah. I don't see. Oh, yeah, there's even Potato. Potato is what I started with. I don't even remember what's before Potato. Bo, right? And this is all here. It's, you know, that's an archive for him. It's a thing. Yep. You prefer at least knowing where your bugs are rather than crappy features. Yeah. Doesn't open the manager editor or anything like that yet. Oh, okay. Testing done. Opened a conversation with the demo protocol and verified that my presence changed. Yep. Also called in the turtles. Oh, yeah, whatever. We tested search too, but I'm not going to mention that here. That seems excessive. So I can't grab this because it's pop-up, but I can grab a screenshot of that. Pidgin screenshots, scrot minus S, presence, chooser, not ping. Grab the whole window. File, browse. Oh, I should have put whatever caption in a screenshot. Cool. What? Oh no, that is right. Jesus. Like, this is a lot of stuff changing. No, this should not be here. What the fuck? Why is that here? Oh, no. No, never mind. This is right. This is right. But, no, purple core. What? Purple core should not. No, oh, shit. Okay, so I should have done these as two different, but this is fine. Oh, I should split this out. Well, there's not really a way to test it. Well, I suppose I could from the UI file, from the pref, whatever. This is fine. Oh, I just had a silly idea. We can do that later, but yeah. We could give the manager as a property in here. And then it'll, that way you can control the manager it's used for and stuff like that. But we don't really need to do any of that right now. But yeah, so cool. All right. You got a good meme for me? Oh boy. What do you got then? That is a link for sure. Oh yeah, I've seen that one before. All right, have it? Yeah, maybe it wasn't Teams, but yeah, or Teams at the end. But yeah, that's a good one. Definitely a good one. I know, so do I. We get a few more features into Pidgin. Maybe we can start looking at a Teams plugin. Oh. Yeah, been a great feature in Teams recently. Say you send someone a document. Yep. I just realized, are they not doing Hacktober this year? I didn't see. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh. Then they send it back and you make more edits and send it back to them. You can't have the same freaking file name. And probably changing the casing of the file name doesn't work either, I'm sure. Well, I mean, it gets back to like OneDrive or something. You got one request for Hacktoberfest? Okay. I mean, we don't because we don't use GitHub or Git, so like we're not eligible to participate. Cram it into OneDrive? Yeah, so that tells you that OneDrive... Why is OneDrive not using IDs for... I mean, I know why. It's because it's Microsoft. So... Yeah. Why the hell does your IM need to cram files into OneDrive? So, I mean... Most chat clients that do inline files and stuff, they put them to some S3 compatible or S3 like thing. But yeah, it's because peer-to-peer file transfers are hard. Nobody gets it right. But like even XMPP has an HTTP file upload to put it on an HTTP server to share files easier. And you're just like, oh, okay. I guess. Sure, why not? Just DCC and be done. Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, you and I are capable of setting up port forwards. Is the person you were exchanging the file with? Actually, no, it doesn't matter. You're the sender, so yeah. So the weird thing about DCC that most people don't know, DCC for people that don't know, is a direct client connection for IRC. The weird thing that people don't realize about it is a send is actually a request for somebody to copy it from you. That's probably the best way to put it. Because if you didn't do it that way, you would be able to use DCC to grab people's IP addresses, right? So what you do is when you want to send a file, you send the receiving end the file name, the port, and your IP address. And then they connect and start downloading the file. But you as the sender don't actually connect to the receiving end. The receiving end connects to the sender and then pulls it down, which is a little weird when you think about it, but it makes sense from a security point of view and a privacy point of view. Right? So like if somebody wants to send you a file, that's the deal. So anyone can set a port forward now with no effort. It's called NatPMP or UPnP. In theory. But like, I don't have that shit turned on my LAN. Because like, I don't know who's doing this stuff. I don't know who's on my LAN, right? You could UDP hole punch too, right? That'd be a better way to do it. Right? And then you don't even need that. Then you're just done. But yeah. Ugh. All right. But I'm going to get out of here. It's a little early, but we're at a good stopping point. And we're going to catch Mr. Nick Wan on his 9 streams left to go. And yeah. So, all right. Thank you everybody for coming by tonight. Be sure to, whatever. If you don't want to join the raid, you go ahead and hit cancel above chat. Otherwise, there's nothing you need to do. YouTube, I don't think he has a YouTube. Or I don't think he multi-streams. But I don't know. But anyways, I'll give you a link to him anyways on Twitch, and then you can find out. Haha, and tell me and let me know. Anyways, thanks everybody for coming by tonight. Be sure to follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, and hit the notification bell for your desired level of notification. In the meantime, be sure to follow me on social media. You can find links to all of that right over here, including my Mastodon, which I do post to when I am going to go live. Although I don't know if it makes sense and if people use it or not. If you do, let me know. Also, you can find us on the officially unofficial Pidgin Discord right over here as well. So, thank you everybody for coming by tonight. And until next time, adios.